Shut up and sit down.
The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other, who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other is the best way to continue to ensure our freedoms, our rights, our values as a country.
So if you guys are wondering what this shit is doing to the NPC normies that live down here, check this shit out.
Fucking stuff! Get out of my fucking city! And the thing is, get out of my fucking city! Hey, fuck you! It has to fucking stop.
Then it stops when the government lifts the mandates.
You fucking idiot! The mandates are provincial, not federal! The mandates, if you're mad about wearing a mask or getting a fucking vaccine, go talk to Doug Ford!
Okay, well, you know what?
The fucking Prime Minister has nothing to do with this!
Actually, he does.
Do you know anything about civics?
Yes, actually I do, because didn't the federal government make vaccine mandates for all federal employees?
To the corner, the more we are willing to stand on our ground.
With this thing, he just gain more freedom fighters right now.
He is just going further and further into more power grabbing. It's, yeah, disgusting, really.
We've talked about it in the news, not just about Ukraine, but about democracies around the world, that we see a bit of a slippage in our democracies. Countries turning towards slightly more authoritarian leaders. Countries allowing increasing misinformation and disinformation to be shared on social media, turning people against the values and the principles of democracies that are so strong. And that slippage over the years unfortunately emboldened Putin and made him think that he could get away with this, that he could get away with it in Ukraine.
Thank you. Based on Article 195, out that it would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau.
Kuro po umalala siya Great Eastern. Nakurog ay tiluwas sa mahata. Mora ka dali, namakuti, namanese. Kuro po umalala siya Great Eastern. Nakurog ay tiluwas.
Look at these people. Yeah, they're so upset about Ukraine. I'm sure their stupid-looking outfits have nothing to do with why they're out there, right? Look, I painted my hand and put a seashell over my... See how much I care? No war. I'm crying. Yeah, nothing says you're devastated like spending your entire day preparing for a fashion shoot on a sidewalk. What kind of people are these? No war in Ukraine. Now, that must be the vomit pail for everyone who sees through your bullshit. Well, that's one way to use the bloodshed of Ukrainians to get more followers on TikTok. Will you be doing a follow-up tutorial video for other aspiring mass murder makeup artists like yourself? I need help. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're posting vanity photos under Pray for Ukraine and every other hashtag you could think of that's related to war, I'm sure you do need help. At least you're aware you have a problem. I'll give you that. Can't say the same for this bozo.
It's heartbreaking to hear what is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm scared of what's going to happen in Western Europe, too.
Yeah.
You know, you plan a trip, you want to go there. I want to go to Italy for 4 years. I haven't been able to make it because of the pandemic, and now this.
Yeah, distraught because she can't go on vacation now.
You know, it's like, what's going to happen there?
You should call Ukraine and ask them to apologize for the inconvenience. Go for a cruise to the Bermuda Triangle instead. I'm sure they'd be glad to pay for it.
Dear President Vladimir Putin.
Now, this should be good.
I'm so sorry that I was not your mother. If I was your mother, you would have been so loved, held in the arms of joyous light. Never would the stories plight the world unfurled.
Now, you gotta stop this. You really shouldn't have recorded this. I mean, did you think this was gonna fall into the category of doing something? I mean, what did you expect to accomplish by this? You think he's watching this in the war room like, Mama, I
cannot believe I was born too late in a different place when I would have loved you so.
Yeah. As I'm sure everyone, including me, is thinking about the situation in Ukraine. Are you? Because right now you're showing us a photo of yourself that you're trying to pass off as you thinking about Ukraine, when in reality it's you showing us your shitty tattoo. How do I know this? Because your arm is always positioned to perfectly display it in nearly every photo you take. Let's play Finish the Tone-Deaf Virtue Signal. As an effort to help people in Ukraine during the Ukraine invasion, I will be having A. Food and clothing donated to each region of Ukraine starting tomorrow. B. Charity event to raise money for the people of Ukraine. Or C. A sale on my OnlyFans at 50% off for everyone in Ukraine. Now, if you chose C, you'd be correct. You'd also be in the majority, considering most people know that people who take mirror selfies with their phone covering their face have yet to be documented contributing anything to humanity aside from promo codes and hard-ons. I've been avoiding posting on Instagram. No, you haven't. I feel guilty. No, you don't. I feel helpless. No, you don't. Friends and their families are going through the worst days of their lives right now. There's nothing I can do but support them the only way I know how to, by sharing a photo of my ass on vacation on a beautiful day. What an honorable thing to do. I'm sure when the people suffering see this, they'll thank you for sharing a photo of you doing absolutely nothing you just said in your caption.
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first. Okay.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
Well, as bad as that is, she appears to have a better understanding of it than old Joe.
We stand with you. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people.
Folks, go get him!
And we will go get him. And we'll be stronger a year from now. On this night, on our 245th year as a nation, I've come to report on the state of the nation, the state of the union. And my report is this: the state of the union is strong because you, the American people, are strong. France, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, even Switzerland. The United States and our allies will defend every inch of territory that is NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. This is our moment to meet and overcome the challenges of our time. And we will. Go get him. And we will. Go get him. Putin's wrong. We are ready. Go get him. And we will. Go get him. Light will win over darkness. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people.
The Iranian people, eh, old Joe? That was from the State of the Union address Tuesday night, which was so boring I fell asleep, but Nancy Pelosi sure seemed to enjoy it. I guess she was trying to applaud here, but since her brain is obviously malfunctioning, it didn't work out as planned. Chuck Schumer had a similar applause malfunction, so I'm not sure what the heck is going on. Supposedly, I mean, it could be a parody, they could have got duped by some fake news. It's hard to tell these days, and especially because there's a lot of fake news about this whole situation going around. Like one of the mainstream media's favorite stories, how Miss Ukraine put down her crown and picked up a gun to defend her beloved country from the invading Russians. And then she had to issue a statement clarifying that that was an old photo of her with an airsoft gun and that she hadn't joined any of the militias.
For this man right here, he would do it for you. He loves Richardson, Texas. I love Richardson, Texas. This is an important city and an important metroplex. And I said this at the beginning, and I'll say this at the end. It only takes one of you to inspire thousands, to inspire millions, to go fight a war and to win. Because when history writes it in the books, you're going to be on one side, either the good side or the bad side. Are you going to be with Vladimir Putin? I sure as heck wouldn't want to be with Vladimir Putin. I know that. The man's evil. He's killing children. He's killing stray animals, cats, with his bombs. I'm a vegetarian. I don't even eat meat. When I see on the TV and I see a cat burned up from a bomb, it makes me sick. I realize I got to do something about it. But you can do something about it. When you join Ukraine's Foreign Legion.
Folks, go get him. And we will. Go get him. And we'll be stronger a year from now.
We are praying for the proud people of Ukraine. God bless them all. As everyone understands, this horrific disaster would never have happened if our election was not rigged. And if I was the president, it's a lot of bullshit. That's what it is. I was with Putin a lot. It's a good thing to get along with people, not a bad thing. You can be very tough and get along. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. Yesterday, reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said, of course he's smart. Putin is playing Biden like a drum. The problem is not that Putin is smart. Real problem is that our leaders are dumb.
Go get him. And we will. Go get him. Putin's wrong. We are ready. Go get him. And we will. Go get him. Light will win over darkness. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Folks, go get him. And we will. Go get him. And we'll be stronger a year from now.
I would like to thank the United States for all of the help we are receiving during this difficult time. The instructions your army is providing is giving us the strength we need to win this war. We have been learning everyone's preferred pronouns and to respect every militia person's unique gender identity. Azov Battalion didn't even know what cisgender meant until completing the online diversity training. This weekend, we are going to be having a special drag queen story time for the children. I have seen how much liberals in California enjoy that. We also have been learning about our white privilege, and when this war is over, we will be building a giant statue of George Floyd for Black Lives Matter. We'll also work hard to increase our diversity, since we know that is the key to a country's strength. It is the only way we can win this war. Thank you.
This policy is another iteration of a long and painful history of discriminatory policies targeting our LGBTQ2SIA community.
So now it's the LGBTQ2SIA plus community. I give up. But back to the Russia-Ukraine situation for a moment. Most people should keep their mouths shut because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. People like actress Patricia Arquette, who just tweeted out that we should kick Russia out of NATO. NATO, if you don't know, is a military alliance between a bunch of countries in Europe, the United States, and Canada, and if any one of those members are attacked, then all the other countries agree to protect and defend them. Of course, Russia's not in NATO for the same reason that Iran and China aren't, because, well, they're considered to be the enemy. Patricia Arquette obviously confused the United Nations with NATO, and as complicated as this Russia-Ukraine situation is, if you're that out of touch, then you just need to sit this one out and log off of Twitter. You know,
Thousand foreigners have joined in the fight on the ground in Ukraine. Over the weekend, President Zelensky called non-Ukrainians to come fight to defend Europe and the world, as he put it.
When this guy went public with what was really happening to many foreign volunteers, the media ran hit pieces smearing him as a right-wing boogaloo boy who just got scared and ran home. But it turns out he was telling the truth.
Our base got fucked up. The base right next to us got fucked up. Americans, British, tons of British dead. They're trying to send us to Kiev with no fucking weapons, no kit, no fucking plates. So they told us we had to get the fuck out or they were going to shoot us in the back. When you get to the border, anyone who has kit, anyone who has any military shit, they're fucking pulling you out of the line and they're sending you back to the front. People need to stop coming here. It's a trap. And they're not letting you fucking leave.
Presumably keen on feeding more Western dopamine addicts into the Ukrainian meat grinder, the media demonized the guy as a phony. But his story is echoed by others who made the trip. Namely that foreigners who show up in Ukraine are being treated like cannon fodder, having their passports ripped up and totally ill-prepared being sent direct to the front lines, and then being told under martial law they won't be able to go home until the war is over, which could be weeks, or it could be years. Reddit Legion travelled to Ukraine and were immediately shelled and shot by Russian soldiers. They were told by the Kremlin that they'd be treated as mercenaries and war criminals. Yeah, but dem upvotes though. Many of the Reddit Legion have no prior weapons training or combat experience, but their enthusiasm to post to other Reddit members about their mission to courageously kill Russian soldiers led to the location of their training camps being identified and then being killed by Russian soldiers. Whoops. They're sending untrained foreign volunteers to the front with little ammo and shit AKs, and they're getting killed. Some of these foreign fighters from the UK were so keen on letting everyone else know that they'd arrived that their cell phone signals, presumably in between checking who'd watched their Instagram stories, were picked up by Russian intelligence, who then used those signals to demolish the Yavoriv training facility in western Ukraine, killing 35 people. Whoops. Mercenaries who were contracted by the Wagner Group, a military company linked to Moscow, may have been operating nearby at the time of the strike, according to reports, and specialists fear they would have been able to pick up, locate and target a concentrated group of British mobile phone signals and pass the information to Russian forces. Yeah, turns out that broadcasting the fact that you're in a war zone isn't quite as rewarding as broadcasting the fact that you attended a Black Lives Matter rally. Ben Spann admits, having abandoned his wife and son and leaving them in a harrowing state of anxiety, that he travelled to Ukraine in order to boost his own ego. And therein lies the point. Many of these volunteers don't really give a shit about Ukraine. They're dopamine-addled, socially engineered NPCs brought up on a steady diet of vacuous virtue signaling. But in 2022, virtue signaling just isn't enough. Anyone can add a Ukrainian flag to their Twitter bio. Now you have to be there. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. You have to get the selfie. You have to truly manifest moral exhibitionism. Are they brave for merely going in the first place? Maybe. You can't call them cowards. Are they stupid for thinking they can serve on the front lines of a hot war with zero military experience or weapons training? Yeah. They're definitely stupid. And
Hey guys, okay, so I just want to say, listen, right now you guys had a resolution for World War III. And I want to ask every council member here on this panel, especially Mayor Scully, are you willing to sign up for the Azov Battalion? And you can sign up for Ukraine's Foreign Legion right now. You can go and you can be a hero. And you can fight Vladimir Putin, because we know that in Washington, that is on the coast. We could very easily be hit by one of his nukes. So we need one council member in one city to stand up and volunteer and say, I'm willing to fight Vladimir Putin. I'm willing to protect Vladimir Zelensky, because Vladimir Zelensky would fight for you, Mayor Scully. And if just one mayor in one city decided to make the difference, the world war could end overnight. And we don't have to live in fear. We don't have to sit on our computer and watch Netflix. And it's okay if you're transgender. As a matter of fact, we'll like it better if you're a transgender soldier. You'll get better treatment. And I'm telling you, you don't even need anything to sign up. It's exactly free, but you just have to give us your social security number and your mother's maiden name. And that will reserve you a spot on the flight to Poland. And we're going to take you to the border, Mayor Scully. And you're going to be able, and if you don't have any training, that's fine. We will train you up. We will teach you how to shoot. We will teach you how to kill the enemy on a battlefield. And you can be a hero instead of a zero. You can turn off that Netflix, stop watching Saving Private Ryan, and start saving Private Ryan yourself, Mayor Scully. Don't be afraid. Don't live in fear. That fear will eat you up. Let me just say something. I lost my wife. I decided to go overseas, and she started dating a 19-year-old Filipino guy and got pregnant while I was gone. So I can't go back to that lifestyle. But you can, Mayor Scully. You can make my wife pay for this, and you can protect her and her new boyfriend. And I would appreciate that greatly. Because the world we live in, there's no border more important than the border between Russia and Ukraine. And they're going to be in our backyard any minute, Mayor Scully. So I ask you, please join the Foreign Legion and help defeat Vladimir Putin. Thank you.
It's been a couple weeks since I transformed into a Ukraine guy, and gotta say that I'm loving my new personality. Will you guys denounce Russia? Oh, you're still telling people to stay at home and get vaccinated? Oh, no, it's cool. I mean, yeah, whatever works for you, dude. Ukraine for life. Well, you know what I mean, for a couple weeks till we get the next one. This is Putin. I'd just sort of give him one of these, maybe one of these. I was a big Palestine guy, I was a big Afghanistan guy. What's going on there now? Yeah, actually pretty good question. I haven't really checked in on it. Are they still doing the whole being a country thing? Oh look, it's Putin's home. You either want America to get in there and start mucking things up, or you love Putin and want to marry him and have sex with him. Yeah, I'm a pretty binary thinker. I'm non-binary and everything else though. Would the dog be willing to denounce Vladimir Putin?
I don't want to be on TV, but I don't know.
We'll remember that, that's all I'm saying. That will be remembered. I mean, yeah, in an ideal world, they wouldn't be white, but at least the bad guys are white, you know? I try to look on the bright side. I think we should just be blocking the airspace and then, you know, let the cards fall. You know, if it's war, then it's war. It's not like I'm fighting personally. I'm not like I'm some soldier. I mean, if you ask me, Iraq was probably holding the WMDs for Putin. You know, a little industry secret, but if you move on to a new personality, you never really have to be held accountable for how right or wrong you were about your last thing. Found out this is a Russian microwave, so getting rid of that. I won't eat Russian soup. I refuse to eat Russian vodka. Yeah, I know there's other war stuff happening all over the place, but maybe if they wanted people to care, they should get better at going viral. How many TikTok stars does Yemen have out on the forefront? I just put the old thing out of sight, out of mind, you know? Sort of like Bart Simpson did when he put his guitar in the garage next to his karate outfit in the unicycle. Where's Ukraine? Beside Russia. Where's Russia? In Russia. I asked my stepdad to formally denounce Putin on his social media, and he told me he didn't have social media, so I guess we're not going to be having a family dinner this week. Yeah, I'm one of the first people to start being about Ukraine once the news started talking about it, so if anything, I'm a bandwagon finder. Censorship also just really gives me a boner, so it's nice to have a new avenue to participate on that front. If people want to post the wrong information about the election, COVID, Ukraine, I mean, yeah, they should be reprimanded. Whether they have their channels taken down, or if I had my say, a prison sentence. Cuomo, Fauci, Zelensky. Just a bunch of guys that I would call daddy. All I'm saying is if you're watching this video right now, you better not be Russian or there'll be consequences for you to pay. It's crazy, some people will say that there's propaganda on both sides, when in reality there's only propaganda on one side. Sorry, I get a little emotional when I'm just thinking of how brave the Ghost of Kiev was. Russia should be nuked. You're a doofus. Gonna get these 2 fists and these boots, bitch, and your tooth's kicked.
But my favorite economic forum speaker of all time is this reptile, Klaus Schwab's top advisor, Dr. Yuval Noah Harari.
Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste.
Sounds familiar, and I guess you are implementing it already. Didn't anyone bother telling this guy not to say any of this out loud on camera? It's a lot of evidence.
Surveillance, people could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin. My brain, my body, my life, does it belong to me or to some corporation or to the government or perhaps to the human collective?
This guy's revealing the whole plan. He's gonna ruin it. The World Economic Forum, out for the good of humanity. You'll own nothing, not even your own DNA, if we have our way.
Russia has cut off access to Facebook inside of Russia. How does that affect U.S. efforts? Does the White House have concerns about that source of information to Russian citizens being cut off?
You know, this is part of their effort, as you know, to cut off a range of information from their public. They had talked about this a little bit yesterday, but there are concerning steps they have taken to crack down on any form of information being shared with our public. Certainly Facebook is a part of that. They've also threatened fines for journalists reporting on the ground. They've threatened, they've conveyed that there are only certain words their own Russian media can use at the risk of being fined or even jailed. This is a pattern. This is not necessarily a new approach that they have taken, but to crack down on information in their country to reach the Russian people. So certainly we are deeply concerned about this and concerned about the threat on freedom of speech in the country.
We have to also make sure that within our own country, we are calling out those people who are giving aid and comfort to Vladimir Putin, who are talking about what a genius he is, what a smart move it is, who are unfortunately being broadcast by Russian media, not only inside Russia, but in Europe, to demonstrate the division within our own country.
Prime time, 99, on the grind, all the time. Ukraine, and I go insane. Put a bullet in Putin's brain. And you got that sanitizer. And you know I got that Pfizer. You know I stick it in my vein. Put a bullet in Putin's brain.
I've been like working out. I wake up and do push-ups and stuff. Getting bucked. I do like 50 push-ups and stuff. I do vote for Biden. I've been getting a lot of hate. He said I ain't gonna be back if I don't vote for him. Y'all be getting me messed up on this child support stuff. Imagine how much child support that is. I can't even go out to the nightclub. I've been getting lawyers, but they ain't doing nothing for me. I can't do nothing. I can't join up in the military. Can y'all smoke weed with the city council? Cause I'm trying to get on this. If I can smoke weed, I was trying to join up in the military and stuff for World War III. Cause I had failed the drug test.
Prime time, 99, on the grind, all the time. Ukraine, and I go insane. Put a bullet in Putin's brain. And you got that sanitizer. And you know I got that Pfizer. You know I stick it in my vein. Put a bullet in Putin's brain.
They try to make me pay this child support, or they gon' lock me up. I gotta buy them new Jordans and stop. My life in the fast lane, I'm Jeff Gordon. You better be recording. I'ma be just like M and Dre, that's facts. Someone gon' get me my flag. I'm a deadbeat dead, I don't take that bad. Just trying to get my paper, so throw me a stab. I'ma say this, I can't wait for the new world order. I mean, that's too much responsibility. I can't wait. Klaus Schwab, shout out to the Great Reset, World Economic Forum. Take my kids.
Prime time, 99, on the grind, all the time.